Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to day 3 of our Tinkercad practice. Okay, so as you can see, I've got my 3 shapes. I've got the box with a hole in it. I've got a button and a heart that we completed in the past couple days. Today, we are going to be making a chess piece. We're going to be making a pawn. Okay, so first thing, like yesterday, I'd like you to go ahead, go back to your Tinkercad practice. I'd like you to insert a new slide. We're going to call this Tinkercad Practice Day 3. Okay. And then we're just going to let that hang out so that it can be ready for our chess piece. That's the only thing that we're going to be doing today. And this chess piece does have multiple steps, so pause it, replay it as many times as you need. All right. So, I'm going to go up. I need to be back in my basic shapes. The first thing that I would like you to do is I would like you to go down and I'd like you to pull out the torus. The torus looks like a ring. Looks like a ring with, it's just a fat ring, basically. And then I would like you to look at the tube. So if you go to your shape dimensions here, I'd like you to take the tube and I'd like you to make the tube fatter, okay? And so, really, let me see if I can. Yes. So if you click 4, click enter. Yeah, we want to make this our 2, 4. So actually, you actually click in there, you can change the dimensions. 4 would be perfect. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull this out and I'm going to make this have a radius of 33. And once again, you can change those dimensions by just typing those in there. And then so it's got a radius of 33. Now, I'm going to set that torus off to the side, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull out a cylinder as well. Now, I would like you to, I'm going to change my view just a little bit. I would like you to change the height of this cylinder to about 40. Let's change the height to 40. And then you're going to need to go ahead and change the height of your torus to about 45. We want the torus to be taller than the chess piece, okay? And then you're actually going to change that into a hole, and we're going to move it on top of the cylinder that we just made, okay? So I'm going to go to my top view here because I want to make sure that it's right on the very top, right centered in the middle of that. And I'm actually going to use my align tool. I don't use that too often, but I'm going to go ahead and use my align tool. And if I do like that and like that, it will line it up right in the center there. So that is perfect. Now I'm going to go back to my home view here. And now that I have this lined up over the top, what I would like you to do, I'm going to make this just a little bit shorter because I want the top of my torus to kind of spread out. So now you're going to go ahead. I want to make sure that I've got them both selected again. So I'm going to draw a box around those two, get them both selected, and then I'm going to go ahead and click group. Okay. When you click group, now you should see that the torus has now made your shape a little bit skinnier. That's exactly what we want to have happen. So now I would like you to go ahead and you're going to pull out a cylinder. I would like you to go ahead and take that cylinder and make it down to 5 centimeters. And we're going to put that in the center here. So once again, I'm going to align these. So I'm going to go to my align tool up at the top, and I'm going to push the center alignment button there. And I actually want this a little bit shorter. So I'm going to take this down and make that 3. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab this, and I want to make this, I'm going to make this 25 in diameter. Nope, 25 is too big. Let me undo that. I'm going to keep it at 20. Let me undo that. I'm going to keep it at 20. But then now we're going to go ahead and you're going to pull one more cylinder in. We've had this had a height of 3, so we're going to make this have a height of 5. Go ahead and pull that down. Make that a height of 5. Okay. I'm going to make this one just a little bit smaller. So since we're at 20, I'm going to make this one down to 18. That should work. And then I'm going to pull it in there. And what you're doing is you're creating tiers for your for the bottom of your shape. So once again, I'm going to align these up and push my 2 center buttons here. And then so we just have this nice little stack happening at the bottom. So because I want this group to stay as is, I'm going to go ahead and I am going to group all of those together so that now that is one piece. So we have just made the base of our chest piece. We've got 2 tiers and then we've got our body. Now, we also need to make the top of our chest piece. So we're going to go ahead and pull out a cone. I'm going to take this cone and I'm going to take this cone down to about 13. Nope, I wanted at 13. I want my height to be 13. Okay, and then I'm going to pull out and make this about 26. I love that I can click in here and I can change my width with these. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and lift this up off the workspace and I'm going to rotate my view because I actually want to rotate this 180 degrees because this is going to be the top of our shape here. So 180, let me get that here. All right, now I'm going to pull this over into my shape and then I'm going to lift it up to the top here. And basically you want to get it so that the top of your shape is right flush with the body of this. So I'm going to go ahead, oh, I don't want to do that. I want to make sure that I can align these one more time. So go ahead and do that. Got them nice and lined up. I like what I'm seeing here, and I'm going to take one more. I'm going to just pull a tube out this time. No, excuse me, I'm going to delete that. I'm going to take one more cylinder, and I'm going to shrink that cylinder down one more time. So let's go ahead and pull that down, and I want that to be about 3 centimeters. I'm going to pull it up to about the height that I want, because basically I want a little piece to be at the bottom of my rim there, I guess, is what I'm looking for. I'm going to pull that up just so it hits the bottom there, just to kind of make it a little bit cooler design. Then I'm going to, one more time, going to grab them all. I'm going to align everything so that they're perfectly lined up. And then the last thing that we're going to do for our chest piece is we need to put the top on it. We need to put a sphere to make the head of that chest piece. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that top. I'm going to pull it up so that it sits right on top of that other piece here. I'm going to go ahead and grab those. I'm going to line it up. And then because of the way that this is looking, I need to make this, I need to lift my cylinder up just a little bit more because I want it to look like it's just sitting right on top of there. And then I need to make the cylinder larger, all around larger. So, not that big. So we're going to make it about, let's try 30. Let's see what 30 does for us here. 30 is still kind of big. So let's try 25. This is really based on your preference here, based on your preference, and then you got to make everything 25 so that it's a nice circle. And I think that actually, I might go smaller than that. I might go back to 20. I know, that kind of stinks. Go back to 20 here. 20, make my height 20. I thought that I was going to do something different, but I think that that's the best case scenario for us. So, and then I'm going to pull it down just a tad bit, and I'm going to realign this because I got it all messed up by doing that. So click my align button, click over here, line it up in the center, and then last but not least, we need to group them. So I don't want to do it that way. I'm going to just draw a box around it this way so that we've got everything. And I'm going to click my group button. And then we have our fancy pantsy chess piece. Okay, so I'm going to change my view so that I can just look at my chess piece here. Now, I know that our chess piece looks a little wider at the top than the bottom. I'm actually going to pull this one last thing. I'm going to ungroup here. I'm going to look at the bottom, and I'm going to pull it out and make it a little bit bigger, just to kind of give it some balance here. No, 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 no. You know what? Not going to worry about that. So I'm going to undo. We're all grouped up. Okay. So let's go ahead and we need to take a snip of this and we need to get it inserted into our document. So like always, I'm going to draw over, I'm going to draw down. So I've got a nice picture of that. I'm going to go ahead and click save. Type in chess piece, or I'm just going to type in pawn, because that's really what it is, chess pawn. Save it, click out, go back over to your document, click insert, image. I'm going to choose an image to upload. In my sample pictures, and there's my chess pawn. I'm going to open that up, and I'm going to make this one nice and large because this is the only thing that I'm putting here, so I'm going to make it nice and large on my screen here. There we go. So, as a review, really quickly, for your Tinkercad portfolio for this week, you should have your name. You should have a snip of your profile page. You should have a snip of 2 blocks next to each other, 2 blocks stacked and grouped, and then in 1 box with a hole in the center of it. For day 2, you should have made a heart with a heart-shaped hole in the middle, and then you should have made a button following my instructions. Please make sure that you stood your heart up when you took your snip. And then for day 3, you should have made your chess piece here, something that looks like mine. Remember, I don't care if your chess piece is a different color. Your chess piece can be a different color. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed our Tinkercad practice for this week. When you come back next week, we will be jumping into our new activity that goes off of Tinkercad, but I'm going to expect that you already know what to do by next week. All right, look forward to it.